headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast, ever popular with George Camel, is my co-host today. Also my daughter. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Jennifer is with us. Jennifer is in Indianapolis. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello.
Hi, what's up?
I have a question. So my husband and I own two small businesses that's our daytime jobs. And I'm starting a third one, but we're really struggling with budgeting for those businesses because they are not consistent income every month. And so knowing how to budget and our expenses, there isn't much personal expenses because we are debt-free other than our property. And so I'm just struggling of how to get started and how to plan with the inconsistent incomes.
And is this question more, Jennifer, for the businesses, how to budget for those specific small businesses, or the money you're bringing into your household budget?
Really for all of them, but more specifically the businesses.
Okay. And are you and your husband, is this the only type of work you guys do? Are these two businesses that you're running?
Yes, and I'm starting a third one that is...
Why?
I want to transition from my current role, and I have discovered that there are no resources, and so I would like to fill a need for my current position and step out of that and work into this other business.
Okay, I'll let you handle the business side. I can help you with the household budget though. So Jennifer, for you guys, you and your husband, y'all need to create, if you haven't already, obviously a pretty detailed budget for your household. And like you said, there's not many bills that have to be paid because you guys are debt free. You just have your property, your home that you owe money on. So we always talk about prioritizing. So it's giving first and making sure your four walls are covered: food, shelter, utilities, transportation. And then everything else underneath is prioritized line item wise by what's most important. And so for some months for you guys, if it's less than what you're bringing in, then you're gonna have to say, okay, we're gonna have to cut, the bottom three line items in the budget, or lower some of the amounts throughout the budget. So you kind of have a plan for the lower months. And then when you guys have high months, yes, go and enjoy some of that, but also keep some of that aside. So on the low months, you can even pull from that fund as well. So it's a little bit of kind of gymnastics throughout it, but having that in place, having a prioritized budget is really important. And then a fund to be able to say, we can pull from some of this money that's not an emergency fund, but just for those lower months to do what we need to do. So that's kind of on the household side, but I think Dave's a little perplexed.
The business that you're running now, what do you make?
Yes. I make $100,000 a year for mine.
Profit.
Yes.
And you want to start another business. Why?
So I'm a behavior consultant, and so I'm an independent contractor, and I have noticed a need, and I have in the business that I do, and so I'm looking to start something else that I would hopefully transition out of the independent contracting and into this other business.
Okay, so you're not in business. You're just an independent contractor.
Correct. Yeah.
By being in business, you just mean you're 1099. You don't operate a business with business expenses associated with it. You don't have employees. You don't have products. You simply work for someone on contract.
Yes, sir.
And you're calling that being in business. Okay, I got you. And you don't want to do that anymore. You want to do something else.
Correct.
And what is it you want to do?
I would like to have a subscription-based website.
Doing what?
Providing materials for people that are currently independent contractors.
to help kind of supplement the work that they're doing. Because as an independent contractor, you've realized, oh gosh, I wish I had this, and a lot of people need that, so I could step in that space. Okay.
I want you to just work on that at night.
That's what I'm currently doing.
Just as a side thing. And
nights and weekends.
You know, that right now is worth $0, and the other's worth $100K.
Correct.
So, you know, you're not going to transition out of that anytime soon.
Correct.
To get your subscription up to $100K, and you get to quit doing your day job as a contractor, it's going to be a while. Okay, so let's just keep with that. Now, why is your $100,000 irregular?
It's each month I turn in billable hours, and so depending on schedules and things like that.
Well, what's your worst month?
It can vary.
What's your lowest month?
$8,000.
Yeah, well, and you said you make $100,000. $8,000 is $100,000. $8,300 a month is $100,000.
Okay, so then my higher months can be upwards of 10.
Okay, so your variability is not that much. You could lay out a budget easily on $8,000 and then just do minor adjustments when you have a better month.
What's your husband make?
Around 160.
Yeah, so you have a $260,000 income to work with, and then you can adjust a little bit off of that. So you don't have a lot of variability, a lot of volatility in your income.
Not so much in mine. In my husband's, it's more seasonal work.
But you can anticipate that. I mean, you can look up and go, because we're not doing a budget for November right now. We're doing a budget for July right now, or August. Okay, and he knows right now what August is going to look like. Pretty close.
For the most part,
pretty close. Yeah. You guys don't go to zero. You're making $250,000 a year. Okay, you don't go to zero. So you make enough money to run a budget on $20,000 a month, $20,000 a month.
And the inconsistent income
and then
may
make
just
the adjustments on the overages or the underages.
Yeah, that. And, you guys just may be able to live on way less than that. So what's going to adjust is just how much you save per month, right?
Exactly.
It may get to that point too. So, you guys are doing great, Jennifer. I mean, you guys are making incredible money.
Serious money.
And I appreciate the intentionality around the budget, because I think for some people, when they are independent contractors or they're doing freelance work or there is this inconsistent income, a lot of people just write off a budget and say, well, I can't do a budget because I don't have a consistent income. So I think the question is really good, but you guys aren't in dire, you should be fine even on your low months.
You have a very consistent $15,000 to $17,000 a month. Very consistent. That you could easily do the budget on that part.
And I think your side gig, Jennifer, is awesome. I know friends in a field similar to what you're talking about. So anything that can help them, you see a need, that's when businesses and your passion really do help. So I encourage the work on nights and weekends of doing that. So I think that's exciting.
Absolutely. This thing started on a nights and weekend deal. This is The Ramsey Show. It's a competitive home buying market, but there's a way you can get an edge. Churchill Mortgage works with you to understand your budget and your goals. And the Churchill Mortgage Home Buyer Edge offers you fast pre-approval and a secured interest rate. Plus, Churchill has bumped up their seller guarantee to $10,000, giving your offer the best chance of being accepted and helping you win in today's market. Go to churchillmortgage.com today to learn more. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. This is common sense for your dollars and cents. A concept Congress can't grasp. It's called The Ramsey Show. Thank you for being with us. The number's 888-825-5225. Aaron is with us in Las Vegas. Hi, Aaron. How are you?
Good, guys. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Sure. Our pleasure. How can we help?
Well, my wife and I love the show. We've gone through FPU. We're in baby step 6 right now, so we're super excited about that. But a couple months ago, our situation changed. I'm currently in the process of being diagnosed with a very rare form of muscular dystrophy.
Oh.
So just the reason I say in the process, I've had a genetics test that's a possible match. My doctor is 90% sure, and I've done a biopsy, but next week I actually find out the results of the biopsy. And so we've obviously done the baby steps. We're in a good situation that way. But I guess my question is, what insurance and what type of long-term planning would you suggest in this? And I guess, am I too late to get to the party to get insurance in this sort of situation now?
Life insurance?
Yes.
Yes, you're too late to the party. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry. And then how you plan for it would be based on. I don't know anything about muscular dystrophy in this millennial. I mean, I remember like the telethon when I was a kid or something, but that was when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, and I don't know what this prognosis means for you. Do you? Or what do you understand so far?
I know it's very rare. There's less than 1,000 people in the U.S. that have what I have, and I'm fully functional right now, but it's possible in the next 10 to 15 years I could be in a wheelchair and I could lose breathing function, so I'd have to have a respiratory device.
Okay.
Oh, Aaron, I'm so sorry.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
And then that following that stage, it probably doesn't end well, I'm guessing.
It's very possible, yes.
Continues to deteriorate, or does it plateau off with the breathing device?
It can plateau, but more than likely it will deteriorate from there.
How old are you?
I'm 46.
Okay. All right. So we're talking about 60 years old, give or take.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry, man. It's hard to face something like that.
Do you guys have kids?
No, we do not.
Okay. How's your wife?
She's so supportive. Very, very, very awesome. Yeah, she's great.
Well, I think one of the things I'll tell you from working with families, I don't know anything about the medical world, except that they call it practicing medicine for a reason. They're practicing. And so things, in other words, things change, and extra opinions and continuing to study and continuing to argue with the what's in front of you is good, not in a denial way, but just not accept that one guy says, okay, you're going to be gone in 6 months. And you go, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to try this, and so on. Mm-hmm. So you're going to become an expert on this. Dad, blame it. To be an advocate for yourself. So I'm going to tell you to continue to do that, and don't just accept one thing and walk away. I don't think you were going to anyway, but second, third, fourth, and later on eighth opinions. Just keep working the problem. Now, while you're doing that, there is, I have perceived in others, not myself, I've not experienced this, okay? So just like someone calls me up and says, I've got a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, and they're giving me 4 months to live, okay? That call has come in here over the years several times. Or I've actually sat with people in a room where they were telling me this stuff, and they're already have processed the emotions and now are going, okay, what the flip do I do, kind of thing. All right, so that's why you're calling. So in that case, what I found is that facts are your friends, and so there is a tremendous peace that comes from having your spiritual house in order, number one, but then number two, getting your house in order financially. And you say, okay, if this unfolds, I got about this many years, and we're talking wheelchair, and then I got about this many years on a breathing device, and if it doesn't stop deteriorating, I've got this many years. And so okay, based on that, I'm going to lay out a plan. And then if I get a different result, I'll change the plan. But if you go ahead and make sure, okay, I got a will in place, I'm going to investigate and find out and make sure Dave's right about life insurance. I'm going to say this is our wealth building plan. We're going to continue to pay off the house. We're going to do this and this and this. And the more detail, it sounds ridiculous, but the more detail you say, given this diagnosis, this is the exact plan. Once that detail's in place, it gives you just like a release, a sense of peace. But having the medical be chaotic and the financial future being chaotic simultaneously is almost more than some folk can bear. So I'm going to encourage you to continue the journey you started with this phone call, and that is really detail out exactly what is your version of the baby steps facing this rare form of muscular dystrophy, because it's almost chronic in that it's not a 1 year or 2 year diagnosis. It's a 15-year or 20-year diagnosis, right? And so today
Right.
It is anyway. It may change next week. And it may change for the better next week. So facts are your friends. Details in the financial arena are not you being cold. They're giving your wife peace and you peace, and then you can turn back around and concentrate on being well. Does that make any sense at all?
No, it totally does. And just hearing about this, I mean, we found out in March, and like you said, it's about emotionally trying to register it and then trying to figure out what the facts are.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're at that place right now. And now I'm going, oh, wait, I have to plan about the future now and figure that out, which is why, like you said, I called.
Yeah. And it's a different future than it was in March. And truthfully, there may be a treatment that comes a year from now. And then the thing changes again.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to stop studying this. You're living it,
Aaron, do you guys know medical bills? Have they given you guys any direction? Like your insurance, do you guys know financially at all what the costs will be at certain stages of this?
We do not.
Okay.
And it's because it's
so rare.
There's still, it's just being discovered sort of thing. So I'm in a research study right now.
Good.
They just put me in one to hopefully take care of some of the medical bills, but also figure what this thing out and how it does in the long term, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I could tell you this, continuing a big old pile of money in your 401k and a paid for house is still going to help the situation. So that part didn't really change, right?
Right.
I mean, it's if you live with this deterioration and disability, or you don't, and you leave her with the situation, either way, a big old pile of money in a paid-for house ain't going to be bad, right?
True.
So, we could keep working 4 and 6. The only question is in between, like Rachel's saying, do we need to pile up some cash for interim treatments or we're going to fly to Czechoslovakia because there's a treatment there that's not covered by insurance? Heck, I'm going, man. Heck, we're paying off the house. Get on an airplane. Let's go, and we'll redistribute that cash in a different way out of the budget. And, of course, you're going to anticipate your income changing potentially as well as you go along. And so all of that goes with it. But just, keep adjusting the plan, but the more detailed the plan is, the more peace she's going to have, you're going to have, and then you can turn your energy around to fighting the disease instead of fighting the money. And that's what people that are like with a cancer diagnosis are doing as well. So, man, I'm so sorry. And Aaron, we're here for you. We're not going anywhere. If you need something, you call anytime. We'll and tell your wife to call if you, for some reason, aren't able to get on the phone. We'll help any way we can. Thanks for calling, man. I'm sorry.
Hey guys, being free to make your own medical decisions is a big deal these days. Christian Healthcare Ministries gives members the freedom to choose the doctors and providers they want without the frustration of worrying about networks and with no waiting period to join. It's a membership-based nonprofit ministry where hundreds of thousands of Christians share funds to pay for and pray for each other's medical bills. For over 40 years, CHM has helped families living across all 50 states. So see if CHM could be right for your family. Check out more today at chministries.org/budget.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Greg and Lindsay are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
We're great, Dave. How are you?
Better than we deserve. Where do you live?
Live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
All right.
Yeah, go
That's
Vols.
fun.
Go Vols.
Go Vols, yeah. We're from, all of us are, well, some of us from over there. Rachel's husband, Winston's from Bearden there. Nice. So, and I was born in Merville. So
There it is.
there you go.
Marvel.
That's how you say it. That's how you say it. If you're a Yankee, it's Maryville for the rest of you. But, all right, welcome, guys. How much debt have you paid off?
Paid off $117,802.
All right. And how long did this take?
14 months,
Way to go, guys. And your range of income during that time?
162 to 198,000.
Cool. What do y'all do for a living?
We are both CPAs.
Good. You're killing it, too. Way to go. So what's the 118,000? What kind of debt?
Student loans.
Student loans.
Student
Sally Mae.
loans. How long you been out of school?
Graduated.
4 years?
Yeah.
4 or 5?
4 years,
All
2019.
right. Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
Good for you guys.
Good for you guys. So what happened 14 months ago that lit these two CPAs? They got
didn't have to
smiles on their face. They're
Because you
out
didn't
of
have to
debt.
pay the loans 14 months ago.
Yeah, well, actually, I refinanced. It was all my loans. Our loans, but was my loans.
But my loans, yeah.
But my loans. But yeah, no, it's kind of just started by, we went to a trip to South Dakota, and that's where I proposed to her.
Oh.
And
At
I'm
Mount Rushmore.
Yep, at Mount Rushmore under the
Good
founding
for
fathers.
you. I love that. That's very patriotic.
Yeah.
And then we had a 30-hour road trip back, and I started thinking, what can we listen to? I'm tired of our playlists. And I was like, I should listen to that show that I watched in college, the Dave Ramsey Network. So we listened to it for 30 hours straight, and we're cash flowing the wedding, we're cash flowing our honeymoon, and we're kicking out this debt.
Yeah.
So it lit us on fire. It was 30 hours straight. No joke.
Canceled the wedding.
Oh, we cash flowed.
Cash flowed.
Oh,
Floated.
cash flowed. Oh, I'm sorry.
Dave's like, they're eloping.
Whoa, I didn't say that. Yeah. Okay, so you cash flowed
Yes.
the wedding,
Yep.
cash flowed the honeymoon.
And
Good.
decided all of that, though, in the car
Yep.
as you're listening to all this. Yeah.
Well, two
Oh, yeah.
CPAs, they're going to do budgets in 30 hours.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, by the time you got there, by the time you got home, the whole thing was laid out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Had the budget in the spreadsheet already and everything.
Yep.
You drive a minute. I want to play with the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
so funny.
That's cool, guys.
Yeah.
So it did not take, I guess both of you are trapped in the car with me. God help you. And so, well, with us, probably. I mean, this wasn't that long ago, so it would have been Ramsey Personalities, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so you didn't have to really talk one another into it. Both of you were on board.
Oh, yeah, we were on board. Yeah, both feet in, and we talked to each other, and you know, it was hard at first, but just right when we got into it, we were 100% and, you know, didn't look back at all. Everyone kind of thought we were crazy, I think, a little bit, but,
Yeah.
you know, beans and rice it out, and bottom shelf at the grocery store, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it came and went, and then right when we paid it off, we were like, well, what do we do now? It was our life for that
Okay,
14
so how long
months.
have you guys been married then?
It'll be 2 years in November.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had that 117,000 that we shared as a part of our journey here because it's what we did together. But I paid off my loans before that road trip, and then we both paid off cars too before. But we consider our true beans and rice journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
After you were married.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
She made me wait to propose until I paid off my car.
I did.
Ooh, wow.
I was wondering if he thought I was joking or not. So, but he did do it. So I guess he was really listening.
Yeah.
So great. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you started like the newlywed journey, obviously doing this. So for your married life,
Yeah.
you've just known this life, and
Right.
then you've paid it off. And how does it feel? Like, are you like looking at each other like, oh my gosh, we did it. We like actually did it. Because y'all are so like light as you're talking about it. For some people, it's like you can feel the weight of the sacrifice. Y'all are like having fun while doing it. It seems so just, I don't know. Y'all seem so light with it.
Yeah, it really was such a fun journey. I look back on it with so much emotion. It was just such a sentimental part of our story. And so I think just being up here, we're so happy to be here. And although it was a lot of hard work, but it was a lot of laughs too. I mean,
What was the hardest part?
You can go first.
Yeah, I would say the hardest part for me, at least, was definitely, we were making friends at our church and really wanted to build relationships with our friends. And, a lot of things that they like to do is go out to eat and stuff like that. So we had to say no, and we were really comfortable with saying no, but it didn't get easier, as time went on. It's just a matter of explaining to people, like, this is our journey right now. This is our chapter in life. And everyone was super supportive. But some weeks you wake up and you're like, I make all this money and I feel like I'm not spending it, but we both knew the long-term play, and it was for us. So.
Yeah, that definitely was the hardest part. I think the hardest days for me, there weren't too often, but the days just when you're like, oh, I'm 4 or 5 years out of college, I have my CPA license, and then
We make $200,000 a year.
yeah, but you're getting on your knees to get like bottom shelf shampoo and like the dinged cans and everything, the cheap food. So I guess anybody who else might feel that way, I would definitely say stay off of social media, because comparison was a big thing. So I think
the joy.
Yeah, we really unplugged there, and it helped us really just totally stay plugged in. So
For sure. Yeah. So even with friends in the social aspect, they were all like, of course, the go-to is like, let's go out to dinner.
Right.
So did y'all switch it up for other couples listening that are like, gosh, we're going to get on this journey, and they may even have little kids, and they're like, oh, is it going to be worth it? Like, what were things that y'all did that you were like, oh yeah, we can still have fun and be newlyweds, and it's still exciting, and we don't have to spend a ton?
I think one of the biggest things, we would invite people over and have like a movie night. We'd make popcorn, make dinner. Just get creative.
hiking and just being outdoors. So we actually found that being on the debt-free journey, we got more in shape because we couldn't eat out so much. So it kind of leached into other areas of our life, which was pretty nice. So.
Well, you got the Smokies right there to hike too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, very cool, you guys. All right, now 2 CPAs. You know that the number 2 career most likely to become a millionaire is CPAs, and you guys got it squared, CPA squared here. So you guys are really on track. It's pretty incredible to be Baby Steps millionaires. And what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is when you look back on it?
Yeah, I would say you can't be 50-50. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. You've got to, look at your partner, your spouse, and just be all in. And that means you're all in. You're not going to, spend money willy-nilly. You have to really just dedicate yourself to it. And
Yeah.
I'd say that.
I think the fact that we were both in it together made a huge difference. I can't imagine not being on the same page. That was a total game changer for us. And then, I think also what Greg said, I can't imagine pulling off what we did if we were lukewarm about it, because it felt almost easy for us because we knew the answer to every question along the way. It was always no, like no spending. Don't do this, don't do that. And I can't imagine if we were lukewarm and it was kind of a consideration, that'd be so much decision fatigue.
Well, that's a lot of stress.
Right. Oh, yeah,
That
definitely.
lack of clarity is stress. It's anxiety. Yeah. Way to go, you guys. I'm so proud of you. Who was bragging on you along the way?
Friends and family.
I would say friends and family, but each other. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Your partner, the person that's going to do it alongside with you. So,
Well done, you guys. We've got the Live and Give box for you. It's the Baby Steps Millionaires book, so you can read about yourself. You're getting ready to be one. And the Total Money Makeover book, you've lived it already. You can give it away or whatever. Same with the Financial Peace University membership. If you haven't done that as newlyweds, you probably ought to still do that. It's not only about getting out of debt. And as CPAs, you'll actually find some things that you might learn too. It's not all about the numbers. So well done, you guys. We're very proud of you. You're amazing. You're heroes.
Thank you.
So very, very, very cool. Greg and Lindsay, Knoxville, Tennessee, $118,000 paid off in 14 months. That's after they restarted the beans and rice, and they did some stuff before they got married, making $162,000 to 198. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free!
Yeah! I love it! Man.
So
What a sharp couple. Whew. Nobody's going to be surprised when they're millionaires by the time they're 30.
It's the one-track mind. That's what I loved about them.
That's
it's like
it.
there's nothing else. No. This is what we're doing. It's that focus, intensity over time that we talk about.
Exactly.
Gives that momentum. It's
I
awesome.
couldn't listen to me for 30 hours in the car. Oh, my gosh.
Try being your daughter. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Thanks for joining us. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, if you're a new listener and you're trying to figure out all this lingo you hear around here, like baby steps and where you are in the process and what we think your next best step is and all that, click the Get Started button. It's a free process at RamseySolutions.com. We'll help you figure out where you are and where you want to go next. Get started at RamseySolutions.com. John's with us in Canada. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. So my wife and I just got married just over a month ago, and we're looking at buying a house within the next couple of years.
Good for you.
Thanks. Thank you. So our question was, we have the option to take out up to $35,000 out of my retirement. If you pay that back within the next 15 years, and then there's no penalty on that. So you can take out up to $35,000 and use that as a down payment, as part of your down payment for a home. So we're just wondering if we should take that money and use it, or if we should just leave it where it is.
What's your household income?
About 140.
And how old are you?
25.
Okay.
John, do you guys have any other debt? Any consumer debt?
No other debt.
Okay. And any cash savings?
So we have about 170, and then plus about 30 in the retirement. So it's totaling about 200. So we're just wondering if we should use the 30 in the retirement as well, or if we should just stick to the 170.
That's great. Well, you guys have great cash
Where'd
savings.
you get $170,000?
I don't know, just here and there, piles up here and there, I guess.
Was it mostly yours that you're just saving, or did you guys, after you got married, that's combined, she was saving too?
Yeah, we're both pretty good savers, and so we've been out of school.
No,
for a while.
you're incredible savers. You're like world-class superhero savers. I mean, you're 25, you just got married, and you enter this conversation wanting to borrow $35,000 or take $35,000 out, and then you come along and drop this bomb on us that you got $170,000 laying there. Dude, you need to leave your retirement alone. Put the $170,000 down, or however many other hundreds of thousands you can save between now and the time you buy a house. Put all of that down, and then go ahead and get the house paid off quick. But let's not unplug the income, the great growth that you would have on the $35,000. See, that's what you're missing out, is the money that $35,000 would have made. That's what you're losing. Now, because I think I'm understanding, and I don't know, I'm not an expert on Canadian retirement, but I think I'm understanding from you can do this without a penalty, right?
Yeah, so you take out the money and then you pay it back if you pay it back within 15 years.
Yeah, I heard that part, but there's no penalty. Yeah. But what you do lose is all the money you would have made on the $35,000 as an investment.
Yeah, I guess we were just thinking if that money added to the deposit on a home would save us, I don't know, the same amount of money or more or less.
No, because your home mortgage rate is lower than your investment return.
Okay.
So, no, I'd leave the investment alone because, dude, you're super savers. You're going to knock it out. You're going to save another $35,000 while we're talking. You guys are amazing. So yeah, let's let the investments be the investments, and then you guys be the super savers with the down payment, and then reach over and pay that house off and work baby steps 4 through 6, which is retirement, saving 15% and throwing everything else at the house, and you're going to get this house paid off in no time.
Yeah, well done, John. Well done.
Wow, pretty amazing. Yeah, you're just trying to get that last little bit of manipulation going here, and there's no need for it.
Yeah.
Because you are the secret sauce, my man, not that little bit of manipulation. Tim is with us in Phoenix. Hey, Tim, what's up?
Hey, Dave and Rachel. I had a quick question for you. So I'm on my very early stages. I've read the book once, working on my second time through. I would say I'm on step 0.5. I'm in the middle of really putting together and figuring out what my debt actually is, and just kind of planning for how I'm going to go about this. The reason I called in was I have a fairly expensive truck that I bought last year, and I bought it as a business vehicle using, a tax write-off where it's over a certain weight, then I can write off the whole vehicle. Now, I'm ready to, go all in on this, but and get myself, like what I guess I would call like a junker car, but something reliable, and try to get, no payments going. But when I sell this vehicle, I'm going to get hit with all of those, tax write-offs I got last year as income this year.
Yep.
And I don't even know if it's the right decision to do that, plus the upside downness you get from, I would say I'm probably 6,000 upside down.
Okay, so you owe 6,000 more on the car than it's worth.
Correct.
Okay, and how much do you owe on it?
62,000.
Okay, and what's your household income?
I make about $225 a year.
Okay, and what other debts do you have?
So in total, that's part of what I've been doing here. In absolute total, and it's kind of a scary number, especially because of how it's laid out here, I am $666,670.91 in debt.
Okay, and
does that include mortgage?
Mortgage.
Okay, how much of that is mortgage? How much of that's mortgage?
$477,960.
Okay, so you got $200,000. You got $175,000 in debt. Okay, and you make two what?
I make somewhere around $225. It ranges. I am a commission guy, so as long as I do good, it stays good. But it can change.
Yeah. Are you single?
I'm not. I am married.
How many kids?
3 kids.
Okay. How does she feel about all this debt?
That is something where I am having a little. I mean, she's game, but I don't think she's all in yet.
No, well, you're not even all in. You're trying to figure it out still. It's okay. We'll give her a minute, okay?
Yeah. I think the toughest thing for her is how it affects the kids' life. How we eat.
Yeah.
How it affects what we try. Different things like that.
Yeah. Well, we're coming up on the clock, so let me jump in here hard, okay?
Yeah.
I think you can probably keep the truck and just pay it off as a part of paying off $200,000 worth of debt, but you're $175,000 worth of debt, but you're going to have to commit to do that in a very short period of time. And that's going to mean about 2 years worth of hell for your lifestyle. Your lifestyle that you've been living has got to go completely away because we're going to use almost all of your income to clear $175 in 2 years. In other words, we're going to put about $80,000, $90,000 out there a year out of your income on debt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'd be debt free except your house in 2 years, but there's going to be no vacations and eating out during that time, which is going to involve your spouse being on board. So, and you got to get more details and understanding before you're going to want to do what I just prescribed. So we'll help you get the two of those things going. You more details and her as well. It's called Financial Peace University. You may have heard us talking about it. It's 9 lessons, and we're going to give it to you for free as our gift because I've been young and broke like you. And you are broke, sir.
Oh, yeah.
You make a lot of money, but you're broke. And so you guys really need to clean this up because you have the potential to be very wealthy in the future, but not living the way you're living now. So hang on. We'll give you a copy, or we'll sign you up for the class. You and your wife go through as our guest. It won't cost you a thing. It's called Financial Peace University. The only thing you have to do is promise the call screener that you will actually attend the class if I give it to you for free. You don't get to go for free unless you make that promise, because you got to go. And you got to actually do the class and go watch the lessons with your wife, and the two of you discuss it, and then go change your life. You're overdue to do that.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you love this show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author many times over, and co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast here on the Ramsey Networks, along with George Campbell. She's my co-host today, my daughter as well. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Anthony starts this hour off in Houston. Hi, Anthony. How are you?
I'm good. How about y'all?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So my wife and I want her to be a stay-at-home mom once we start having kids. But if we go down to just my income, as it is now, we'll be house poor. So I'm in a field that has overtime, and my idea is to just throw money at the principal and then refinance from our 30-year to a 15-year fixed rate and hopefully bring our monthly payment down. Does that make sense?
Well, you would reduce the principal enough that going to a 15-year would not cause your payment to come up, and you'd reduce it even more, I guess. So what do you owe on the house?
We just bought it, and it's approximately $174,000 that we owe.
Mm-hmm. And what do you make, and what does she make?
I bring in, after tax, tithes, and benefits, approximately $4 before overtime. Her income varies, but $800 to $1,000 is ballpark.
A month?
Yes. Yeah, a month.
You're talking about take-home pay?
Yes, sir.
So she's not working full-time?
No, sir.
So losing her income's probably really not going to be a problem. She doesn't make anything.
A huge problem, but it's just the technicality of being house poor and just losing.
No, it's not. No, the point is you're not going to be house poor. If you're house poor over $800, you're already house poor.
How much is your payment a month, Anthony?
With the HOA, it's about $1,750 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Well, if we're only on your income, it's a little high, but you're not house poor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys expecting now, Anthony, or you guys are just talking about the future?
No, it's kind of just planning for the future.
How old are you?
I'm 24, and she's about to turn 24.
What does she do?
Tutoring and then teaching at a homeschool type program.
And you do not have children now?
Correct.
Okay.
So it's more just a hypothetical. We're just talking about the future. Yeah. What would we do in that scenario kind of thing? Okay.
All right. Yeah, so here's, and you don't have any other debt except this?
Correct.
Good. Okay.
Do you have any money saved, Anthony?
Yeah, we do have an emergency fund that's at roughly $9,000 right now.
Okay.
Was higher, but
you've done a good job, Anthony. You've done a good job, and you're thinking about it clearly. So here's what I would do. I would tell her to triple her income until she has a baby.
Mm-hmm.
She don't make nothing. So whatever this homeschool gig is that pays nothing is a nice ministry, but she could go make a bunch of money right now before she gets pregnant.
Private tutoring?
Yeah, let's go make a pile of money, both of you. And then you got an extra big old pile. And then if you did throw $50,000, say, at this house and then refied it, yeah, you would be able to do what you talked about. And that would be an awesome plan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the good news is you're not really dependent on her income to survive and prosper. You can make it if she wants to be. If you guys want to choose for her to be a home mom, stay-at-home mom, I think you can afford it. But the more money you pile up, the more you're going to be able to afford it. No duh, Dave, right? But that's. Yeah. But that's.
But y'all got to, even if y'all start soon trying, Anthony, math tells me within, you still have close to a year for her to be working. So you guys could spend, this next year just saying, okay, even if she gets pregnant, she can still work. And just, like he's saying, pile up that money now. And Anthony, the truth is too, everyone's story is so different with this. You guys may do this for 3 years until you get pregnant, right? I mean, like you don't know. And so, doing what I could on the front ends, which is pile up a bunch of money to be able to put to the principal. I think it's a great idea.
I'd be in the cash stacking business, both of you. You picking up OT and her changing her, because $800, man, she ain't making anything. And she's got the ability to make a lot more than that. And I would say let's reset that with the goal of, okay, we're going to pay a price now, which ensures that we'll be able to afford to live this desire to stay at home. And so, you're paying a price to win. Live like no one else so that later you can live and give like no one else. That's it. So you guys are really doing well, by the way. I want to say it again. I said it once. I mean, you're 24, 25 years old. And you got your crap together way more than most people. And you're actually thinking, which is way more than most people do. Sean is in Los Angeles. Hey, Sean, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Dave and Rachel, I feel so blessed to talk to you guys today. Thank you so much.
You too. What's up?
So I have a little twofold question here. And so it's about navigating baby steps 3B and 4. So you'll probably need some facts, so I was going to spit them out real quick. I'm 34 years old, and I'm a full-time pastor at a church. I just completed baby step 3, and I'm super, super excited. I'm single, never married, and I don't have kids, and I'm thinking I'll make roughly around $65,000 to $70,000 this year. I currently rent a room in a house, so I don't own property, but as I enter baby steps 3B, 4, 5, and 6, my first question about baby step 4 is, as I receive my money and I get paid in gross amounts, I'm currently just setting that amount for my taxes in a separate savings account. This will be my first year doing the quarterly estimate. So how do I plan for exactly what that 15% will be going into retirement of my take home? I've heard take home pay on the show.
No, it's not 15% of take home. It's 15% of gross.
Okay, understood.
For baby step 4, but if you want to not be doing anything because you're saving 100% of it to 3B, that's okay with what we teach too.
Okay. Now, how would I calculate that 15% of my take home?
15% of 70 grand.
Sorry. Okay, that's true. That makes it easy then. And then when I approach baby step 3B, of course, living in California, when it comes to saving for a house, where would I, how do I realistically get ready for that when, the housing prices are so far out there and I'm making, what I make now?
Going to be very difficult. It's very difficult to buy a house in Los Angeles, California, making 60 grand, 70 grand. Very hard. But can it be done? Yeah. But I mean, it's one of the most expensive real estate markets in the world. I mean, LA, Manhattan, Tokyo, London. This is the 4 big dogs. Paris, this is it. And so in terms of expense, San Francisco is right there with it too. So, I mean, it's going to be hard, but you can do it. You're probably going to end up making some other choices like living further out in order to do home ownership with that kind of income.
And I wouldn't pause baby step 4 to save up for a house in LA making 65. I would be putting some to retirement, Sean. So I would be doing that.
Because it's going to be a while.
It's going to take a while.
It's going to be a while. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Go to Blinds.com now and save 45% off selected products. Visit Blinds.com today for more info. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us. If you like this show, we could use some help. Share it. Leave a 5-star review. Subscribe, follow. All of those little actions sound like they're not much, but they make a big difference in how YouTube or Spotify or Apple or radio ratings all work. It's a big deal. And we know a bunch of you are sharing the show and telling people about it. Thank you, because there's a ton, all our ratings and indicators, all our statistics tell us there's a whole bunch of new people this year. So thank you. And it had to come from you, because we don't spend $300 million on advertising for the show. And we don't own any football stadiums like SoFi or somebody like that. Excuse me, got the allergies are bad. All right, and Leslie is in Lynchburg. Hey, Leslie, what's up?
Hi, Mr. Ramsey and Rachel. Thanks so much for taking my call today.
Sure.
I am 43. I'm single, and my income is around $53,000 a year. I work in the social work field. I currently have $100,000 in student loan debt that I'm going to be tackling. The reality of it is, for me, it's going to take, like, if I'm throwing everything at it, it's going to take me between 5 and 6 years on my income. And is that really prudent? Like, my employer currently matches my 401k at 6%. Is it really prudent for me to miss that 6% given my age and, my circumstances?
Yes.
Yes.
It's the only way to do it, because here's what's going to happen. The more you fret about the retirement not getting funded, the more you're going to sacrifice, and the more you're going to take extra jobs, and the more you're going to live on beans and rice, and you're going to do it in 3.5 or 4 years instead of 5.
Okay.
Because part of your issue is you do need to do something to get your income up while you work on this. See, if you had a fabulous side hustle, and I don't know, it may even be something in the social work field. I don't know what that is necessarily, but if you could pick up some private casework or something and add $20,000, and it's an uncomfortable number of hours that you're working, but $20,000 added to this equation a year would cut the whole deal in half. It'd cut it from 5 years to 2.5 years.
Okay.
And that's how I want you thinking, and the fact that you're frustrated about not putting money into the retirement, which you should be, because I agree with you. It's scary, and it's bad to be missing out on the match, and it would drive me a little crazy. But that's one of the reasons we use that process. We use that tension in the air to cause you to get deeper and deeper and deeper and more on your sacrifice, more and more intense. Rachel?
Yeah, and it's just, and I think, Leslie, like, just knowing, okay, this money that, say you were still funding retirement, you would see that 6%, whatever that match is that you go up to, that is money that could have been paying towards the debt. So I think even mapping that out to say, okay, what if I pause retirement? How much faster would I get out of debt if I had a great side hustle and all of it? Like map up the plans, because I think you'll see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I don't think pausing for 3 to 4 years is going to be detrimental to you. I know even at your age, at 43, it's not. I mean, if you were 65 when we were talking about this, that's more of the like, oh,
it'd be more
gosh.
It'd be even more scary.
As you just feel the weight of it more. But you're still young. You're good. Do you have any money in retirement right now?
Yeah, it's about 20.
Okay. So
and how long have you had this debt?
I went to school later in life, so about 5-7 years.
Okay. So I rest my case.
Mm-hmm.
This debt's been laying around, languishing for 5 years already.
Yeah.
And what moves the needle on the debt is you getting unbelievably angry at the debt and visceral about it. Like when you're dealing with someone in your world, in the social work world, when they need to have a huge life transformation because the way they're behaving is not working, they have to change, then they need to do that with a level of intensity. Life transformation doesn't happen gradually or with ease. It's not an intellectual thing. It's a primal thing. You know what I'm saying? In your world, you observe that. The people that get better in their social interactions, whether it's with their family or wherever you're doing, they get really sick and tired of being sick and tired. They're growling. They're howling at the moon. It's very, right? And
yes,
that has not happened yet for you on this 100,000. That's why it's still sitting there. And so that's what I'm kind of prescribing, is this deep guttural almost thing where I'm just like, I've had it. I'm sick and tired of this. That kind of thing. You get that thing going down inside you get that version of Leslie going.
Yeah, and I think the truth is too, Leslie, that the way your life has looked for 5 to 6 years with this debt, it's going to have to look different in the future in order to clean it up. Because if you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So I think just kind of that pep talk in the mirror of like, all right, it's summer of 23 until summer of 25. Like I'm doing this, and time goes quick too. That's the other thing. Yes, the sacrifice is not fun. Working long hours, you're going to be exhausted, but you're going to look up and be like, okay, it's been 2 years. Like I did it. And the more you sacrifice, Leslie, your time by working, the more, again, probably not a ton of sacrifice in your lifestyle, because, it's not like you're making $100,000. So there's going to be some tension though. And that's okay, because it's for a period of time. And I'm telling you, the more intense you get with it, the more focused you get, like what he's saying, that's when you're going to see this progress. So you're doing incredible work just in the world. So that amount, and I want freedom for you, Leslie.
Amen.
Like I want you to have a level where you're not stressed, and this level of control over your income in your life. So you deserve it. You do. Yeah.
Be rewarded for all your hard work. Yeah. You work too hard to be broke, and you're doing too much good to be broke. And just keep telling yourself that it's a thing you got to get into here. And, this whole, guys out there, this whole student loan thing, there's a lot of different dynamics that are happening, not only with the Biden administration forgiving, and then the Trump administration pausing, and the Biden administration forgiving and then not forgiving, and then the Supreme Court, and then Biden comes out and announces a new plan, which is a worse version of the plan that was already in place before he even got in office. And it's now you can stay in debt for 25 years and hope for forgiveness. This is the new plan they announced last week, which is just so ridiculously laughable. Then it just sounds like the federal government, the idiocy that comes out of Washington, D.C. It's just idiocy. And that's not a political party thing. There's a ton of idiocy coming out of there, and it's got D's and R's on it. And so, you guys got to look up and not depend on that. That's one of the variables going on. But the other variable, if you just set aside all of the Washington garbage and the hyperbole and the rhetoric and all that, and you just say, gosh, I make $53,000 a year. I'm 43 years old. I got $100,000. If you just lay those three numbers out there in her life, I know exactly what that means. It feels that 100,000 is a big mountain, and it feels like it can't be climbed. It feels like, or if it is, it's going to take so long. And that sense of that little tinge of hopelessness that is normal when you have numbers where the number is so big that it steals a little bit of your hope, and you think the only light at the end of the tunnel is an oncoming train, that keeps you from getting started. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the most important thing is to start. And then the next most important thing is turn up the heat. And then the next most important thing is turn it up again.
We talk about how health and money are parallel. I started following this doctor guy on Instagram, and he posted today, he said, 95% of you not being where you want to be health-wise is your mind.
Wow.
Your body will follow.
Yeah.
And it's that decision-making, you guys. It's so powerful. It's so powerful in money and in health, too.
I was watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary.
I heard it was good.
And the first one where he's a bodybuilder. He talked about the exact same thing. Your mind and your body will follow.
Yep.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dr. John Deloney here. I'm a huge fan of both meditation and prayer. And good mental health includes slowing down, gaining control of your thoughts, and plugging into something bigger than you. And Hallow makes it easy to start a daily practice of meditation, prayer, and finding peace. Hallow is the #1 Bible app in the world, and you can tailor content towards your faith tradition. From scripture readings and prayers to meditation and journaling, Hallow makes it easy to practice prayer, meditate, and build a deeper, more meaningful spiritual life and rediscover true peace. Go to hallow.com/Ramsey today to get 3 months of Hallow for free. That's hallow.com/Ramsey.
Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Amanda is with us. Hi, Amanda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. Where do you live?
Wentzville, Missouri.
Yeah, which is near...
St. Louis.
Oh, okay. Outside St. Louis.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, welcome to Nashville.
Thank you.
Good to have you. And all the way down here to do a debt-free scream. How much you paid off?
$36,850.
Way to go. How long did that take?
About 27 months.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
I was at about 49 to 65.
Good for you. Cool. What do you do for a living?
I'm a licensed veterinary technician.
Oh, yeah. Good. That's fun.
Yeah.
And what kind of debt was the $37,000?
I mean, all kinds of things. A bed, a car, personal loans, medical debt. An air conditioner unit is kind of what started everything. Yeah.
Living life.
Pretty much.
And it's all on the card.
That's
yeah,
right.
I mean, wow. Yeah, you were normal.
Basically.
Yeah. So what happened 27 months ago, 2.5 years ago?
Well, 2 years prior to that, I got a divorce in 2018 after being married for 20 years. Amicable, so that all went fine. But 2 years after that, I had refinanced the house and all those kinds of things. And, just your basic house stuff, the air conditioner unit failed, and I needed a new one. And I was already had other debt, obviously, and I had to put it on credit. And got guilt tripped a little bit from some family members of like, oh, well, why'd you do that? And
Are they with you today?
No. No, it's not them.
I mean, that's somebody that loves you that guilt tripped that. Okay.
Yeah, so it just kind of got the ball rolling of just being fed up, basically, of just not being able to make ends meet, not having an emergency fund, not having any of those things. So, the stress of that. And I was on a single income, so it was just me. I didn't have the ability to rely on a second income, so I had to figure out what I needed to do for me.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. That's amazing. So during this time, what would you say were the things that were the most helpful So people listening right now that were like, okay, my numbers are matching up with hers. I wonder what are the things she did that she saw a lot of progress.
I mean, really, it was my brother-in-law got me kind of started the night of the air conditioner purchase. I was all upset about, the family being upset of me doing that. So he asked me to come over. They lived like 2 minutes across the way. And I went over and he started talking to me about budgeting and talked about your Total Money Makeover book and is like, I'm going to get you this book. I want you to read it. He showed me how he did his budget on Excel. I kind of went from there. So shout out to Greg. But I read the book within probably about a week. And it just was common sense. I mean, it was just very simple to follow and easy steps to maneuver through. So I was already halfway to the emergency fund pretty much. So it took me about 2 months to save that. And then I just started tackling just smallest to largest, just as you guys say. And, little wins, basically.
Chipping away, 27 months, making...
Well, that's a lot. Yeah, you paid off a lot.
Making $49,000, you pay... I mean, that's impressive.
And that was my lowest pay because that was right at the start of the like we were kind of in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And our hours... I'm an oncology technician, so I do chemo for animals. So we had to be segregated from the rest of the hospital, and they had to cut our hours quite a bit. So, I mean, we lost probably 8 hours a paycheck, which, doesn't sound like a lot. But
that is a lot.
It's a lot. So we lost a little bit of money, but thankfully with my job, they give amazing bonuses. They offer double time and a half.
Wow.
I mean, they want people to work there.
Yes.
And so
is that mostly what you did, the side stuff?
That was the biggest part of it, minus just all the COVID bonuses from them and obviously the government bonuses. I put every single penny of anything extra went right to it. I didn't spend it on anything extra or, lavish in the government's handout. I just I was just
pay off personal
I'm
loans?
just going to pay off all the debt. So then, I just worked through it that way. And then I pet sat for some coworkers throughout that time. I didn't even incorporate that probably in there that much, but a portion of it was pet sitting for coworkers and whatnot.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. What was the one debt that you paid off that you were like, that feels the best? That you were like, oh,
probably the personal loan.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So when this is interesting. I'm just watching you and listening to your body. I'm watching your body language and listening to you. I get the sense that when stuff comes at you, you just lean into it. That's your nature.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like this panic moment. It's like, this just sucks and I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I just needed a plan. I mean, that was basically what I needed. I needed somebody to point me in a direction, and I mean, I'm great at following directions, so it just kind of fell in sync.
Game on. Yeah. Okay. So there wasn't really a freak out moment. It was more of a a disgust moment and game on. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because we all react differently to these kinds of things when crap comes at us like this.
Yeah. You just kind of get in panic mode where you're like, oh man, I got to come up with this amount to add to what I'm already paying in other debts, and and then just to pay off the car and like all those things, like you say, oh, everyone thinks that you got to live with a car payment, but you don't. I mean, you don't have to live with any of it. It's all personal choice of what you decide to spend your money on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm a spender like Rachel. So.
Yeah, girl, I feel you. I knew I liked you.
So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Sticking to a plan. Saying no to all the coworkers who eat out lunch every single day. I bring my lunch every day to this date. I might eat out maybe once every couple months, if that, but I just can't stand the fees these days. I don't know, not listening to the masses of everybody, trying to put their input in. Like you always say, they don't really get a say in what I choose to do.
Yeah, I heard a guy say yesterday, don't follow the masses because the M might be silent.
That's a good one.
That's funny.
Well done. Good stuff, Amanda. Proud of you. We got the Live and Give box for you, the Baby Steps Millionaires book, because that's the next chapter in your story. You are on your way. You have a whole different vision for things than you did.
And hey, way to do it. Too, just as a single woman, you just decided. I mean, I just always commend people that you did it on your own, and that's something to be really proud of.
Amen.
Really proud of.
You are a hero for sure.
Thank you.
We're proud of you.
It's awesome.
Yeah, Total Money Makeover book as well, which you got the whole thing started for you. You'll be able to give it away when somebody comes across the street with an air conditioner bill.
Yeah.
And Yeah, and the Financial Peace University membership. If you haven't done that yet, do it, because that'll help you.
No, I haven't.
That'll help you get in gear on the moving on to the next step, to the wealth. I mean, just getting free is one thing, but getting free so that you can be generous and become wealthy. That's the whole deal. I'm proud of you. Well done, Amanda. All right, who was it came to cheer you on over here?
I got my dad, my boyfriend Mike, and my sister.
All right. Well, they're all cheering you on. We can tell. We can tell they are Camp Amanda, without a doubt. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Amanda from St. Louis, $37,000 paid off as a veterinarian tech. 27 months it took, making $49,000 to $65,000 all by herself. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt free.
Yeah! That's how you do it, ladies and gentlemen, from St. Louis. I'm just saying. Wow. Very cool. Very cool. I mean, there is an advantage to doing this on your own because you don't have to talk anybody into it. But the disadvantage is you're doing it on your own.
That's right. Right. It's the double-edged sword, either situation. But there is something about which it sounds like she had such great community around her.
Yeah.
But part of that is not being lonely in the process, because I think it can be isolating. If you're like, am I crazy? You kind of start to feel like, am I the only one, in this? And so when you have people around you to cheer you on, it is. But there's, I think, even that much more of a good pride, a healthy pride. You're like, I did that. I did that. So I think it's awesome. It's a lot. That's a lot. It's a big story she's walked through the past few years, and she's chosen to just absolutely own it, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
She happened to it. It didn't happen to her.
That's right.
I like it. I like it. That's a victor, not a victim. This is The Ramsey Show. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Audrey's in Lansing, Michigan. Hey, Audrey, what's up?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Sure. How can we help?
So my husband and I are facing a little bit of a moral dilemma. We were just kind of looking for an outside opinion on it. So we work at the same place right now. It's a family business in the sense that a lot of my family works there. Most of the people who work there I'm related to. We make a low income there right now, and it's not what either of us want to be doing long term. I really want to go to college, and he wants to be a chef. But if we leave them, we're leaving them in a really bad position. This our business that didn't do well last year, so we're just wanting to make sure that we're not being selfish, or just trying to navigate what's the right thing to do.
Okay, does your family or his family own the business?
No, my uncle is the manager of this part of the business. The business as a whole, my family does not own.
Okay. All right. So that would relieve a lot of moral dilemma. I'm not sure there's a moral dilemma anyway, but anyway, it would relieve a lot of the relational pressure. It's not you're not harming your family. Only the company needs your help, but they can't afford you anymore.
Yeah, we make enough to where
they
we
never could have
bills.
afforded you because you make a low income.
Yeah, we can pay our bills.
You told me you wanted to leave because you had a low income. Now don't back out on it.
Yeah.
That's what you said. I didn't say it.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
How old are you guys, Audrey?
We're both 22.
What do you make?
A little under $4,000 a month.
Each?
Combined?
Combined. I can only work 2 days a week. I have a 1-year-old, so I'm at home with him most of the time.
Okay, so they're going to lose a part-time employee that they hardly pay anything. And they're going to lose an employee that's 22 years old.
Yes, sir.
I think they'll be okay.
Okay.
Where are you feeling pressure, Audrey? Have there been conversations, or you guys are just reading the story and thinking, oh gosh, if we leave? Or is there outside pressure? Is there anyone else in the family that's like, no, Audrey, you can't do this move?
Not really in that sense. It's just a lot of people have left recently, even though it's such an amazing business environment and everyone's awesome. It's just a lot of people have left, and we don't want to be another couple of people to, I guess, hurt everybody, because when people leave, everyone else has had to pick up so much of the slack. We just don't want to be.
I hear you. I hear you, and I commend your selflessness, your heart around this. I think it's a very gracious mindset that you're in. But also, Audrey, you and your husband need to go live your own lives. If this is a decision that you guys want to make for you all, you can't be dependent upon how everyone else is going to feel in your life. There's a point you have to get that and that's not being unkind.
Audrey,
the way you leave could be unkind, right? So you can be gracious in how you do that. But the decisions you make in your life, they have to be for you.
Lots of notice, with a smile, with gratitude for the time I've been here. And but I want to give you plenty of notice so you could, because I know we've lost some other folks, and I don't want to leave you guys in a lurch. So we're going to give you a lot of notice. Maybe a month notice instead of 2 weeks, or instead of 2 minutes. Okay. So that's a lot of class. And the second thing's I got a lot of class on is just gratitude. Thank you so much for what you've meant to us early in our lives here. And then can I have permission to be mean for a second?
Yes, sir.
Okay. If this business is dependent upon a 22-year-old and a part-time 22-year-old to make it, it's not going to make it. If you're the last thing that when you step out causes this thing to fold up like a tent, it wasn't going to make it anyway, honey.
Yeah, I think they will. I think we're probably just.
Yeah.
Y'all are being very sensitive.
Yeah, you're just being very sensitive.
Yeah.
And what I'm trying to say there is not to put you guys down, but I'm trying to say that if it comes down to 1 or 2 people inside of Ramsey being here or not being here, whether Ramsey folds up tent or whether Ramsey doesn't make it, then probably weren't going to make it anyway. And that's so it just is.
And they've been through a hard season.
Yeah.
I hear you saying that.
Yeah.
A lot of people have left, so they're feeling more and more pressure. So you're more and more sensitive to that, which is.
And you've heard the family all talks about the ones that left, and you don't want to be one of those, but you're getting ready to be, and that's okay. And you can't you can't be responsible for how someone else decides to interpret all of this.
You guys
you're
young.
Not being mean. You're not being unethical. You're not being unkind. You're not being greedy. You're not being any of those things. And anybody that tries to put that on you guys is not telling the truth. Okay? So I would go in with you and your husband, sit down with your uncle, who's the manager, and say, hey, we're going to move on. How can we do that in a way that is the kindest to you and to this place, because we're so grateful for this place? I mean, do you want us to give you a month's notice? Do you want us to leave this minute? What is the best thing for you all? Because we're going to move on, because we can't make any money here. This place is struggling. And, we have
other dreams. We're 22.
Yeah, my husband has a dream. I have a dream of being a chef. I have a dream of being this, and we're going to go live that dream. And how can we do that is the kindest to you and to this place? And we want to be classy. Help us to do that. Teach us. We're young. You're the old wise manager. Teach us how we can be good, how we can leave with class, because we're leaving. And if he tries to pull something that causes you to stay, just smile and say, no, we're not going to be able to stay. How can we leave in a way that's going to be the most helpful?
Yep.
And you may have to repeat yourself a couple of times, it sounds like.
How does that feel, Audrey?
No, I appreciate just knowing that it's not wrong. I know that my uncle is one of the most amazing people.
Tell him that.
He'll be very good at it,
Just tell him that. Just say, we admire you so much. The last thing we'd want to do is hurt you. We think you're one of the most amazing people. But that doesn't change our decision.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people leave here and they go, Dave, you changed my life. And, my family's changed because I got to work at Ramsey. And we'll always be friends. And thank you. You're an amazing leader. And tell me things like that as they're leaving. And then I've had other people give me the bird and walk out the door. So, I mean, it's, but you can decide who you are. It doesn't change who I am, right? It doesn't change who your uncle is. You just have to decide who you are. And that's what we're telling you to do.
Yeah, and I think it's a healthy exercise for you and your husband. You guys you're feeling this nudge to go do something else, and it takes courage. And maybe, at 22, I know you have a little one and all of that, but you're continuing to grow into yourself, Audrey, and into who you guys are as a family, you and your husband. You're making these adult-like steps, and you're facing adult-like conflict and decisions, and it's scary and it's uncomfortable. So, you're good. You're not morally doing anything wrong. So I say that.
What I want you started this conversation stuck, and I want you to leave this conversation not being stuck. That's our goal. Okay. You're not stuck. Wave goodbye with a smile and do it now, not in a year. Thanks for calling in, hon. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. We'll talk about your life and your money. Rachel, it's disturbing to me, like when we get kicked off a radio station sometimes because they change the format to rock and roll or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That in like 3 weeks, no one in that city cares. It turns out that, when you leave, people get over it.
Oh, I hear you.
People get over it,
Yes.
People get over it. They manage their lives without you.
They're going to be fine.
This is the Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Rachel Cruz. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, my daughter, co-host of the Smart Money Happy Hour podcast. Downloads once a week with George Camel. Make sure you check that out. It's a lot of fun. She's my co-host today. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. Charlotte is in Lexington, Kentucky. Hey, Charlotte, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
My question is, how do you start the emergency fund when you're behind on multiple bills each month?
You don't. Sounds like you got a mess, kiddo. What's going on?
Yeah, I do. I'm 36, single, 2 kids. I've been working 2 jobs for almost 5 years now, and I just cannot get caught up to stay current on all my bills, let alone start an emergency fund.
I hear you. So what do you make?
What I bring home each month between both jobs is $3,200. My debt, if I make the minimum payments each month, is $1,900. So that leaves me about $1,200.
How much is your rent?
So I have a mortgage, and it's $560 a month.
Okay, that's good news. And are you getting child support?
Yes, but not consistent enough to rely on.
Why?
He just chooses to pay it when it's convenient to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, the courts in Kentucky will help him with his discipline. You know that.
Right, and they've actually sent something to garnish wages here recently. So.
Good. Okay. That doesn't fix the problem, but it just fixes my aggravation at him, and I'm just joining you in that. How old are your babies?
15 and 11. For 12, 15 and 12.
Lord, so they ate a lot.
Yes, especially during the summer.
Yeah, so what kind of debts have you got?
Car payment.
How much do you owe on the car?
$16,000.
Okay. And what else?
Student loans are about $16,000 when you add them all up.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived life and went on a cruise in April, and so I'm paying on that.
How much do you owe on the cruise?
$1,600.
Okay. All right. What else?
I've got two, like a firm loans. One's for a mattress and one's for tires.
Mm-hmm. And how much are those? How much are those?
My tire. So my tires are about $700, and then the mattress I owe like $200 on.
Okay. All right.
And then I've got braces that I owe about $3,200 on.
Mm-hmm.
And then medical bills that I probably owe about $6,000 if I add them all up.
How long have you been single, you said?
It's about 10 years.
Okay. All right.
What do you do for your jobs, Charlotte?
I am a quality manager, and I've actually at Conduit, and I've been there 18 years, and then I'm a server at Cracker Barrel, and I've been there almost 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Let me give you a couple of observations. I've been doing this a long time, so I've sat with people in your situation a lot. Okay. You've been living on nothing, right on the edge, scared for a long time. And that has caused you to give yourself permission to do some stupid things that have made it worse. Okay?
Yes.
Like a $16,000 car you can't afford because the other old car was breaking down all the time and you couldn't handle that extra fear added with all the fear you already had. So you said, I'm going to get at least one thing in my life that is reliable because this guy paying child support certainly isn't.
That's 100% true. Just in October that happened.
Yeah. And then you got, I'm not going to get out anyway. I might as well live my life, so I'm going on the cruise. Oh, and then the dadgum tires go out, so we got to have tires because you can't roll this $16,000 car without a tire. Right? And
exactly.
So what happens is we end up going from crisis to crisis because we're trapped. And so we got to get out of this, but it's going to be radical. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
We're going to go with
what
you.
I'm doing's not working.
Yeah, hold my hand. We're going to jump off the cliff.
That wasn't an evil laugh from him.
No,
it was an excited laugh.
That was a hold my hand. We're going to jump off the cliff together. Here we go. And the water's cold and it's deep, so we're okay. Get ready to jump. Here we go. It's going to be different. Here we go. Run back. Here we go. That's what I'm laughing about. Okay, I will go with you. We're going to help you, and I'm going to put people around you. I'm going to give you a financial coach free of charge. I'm going to pay for it because I can't stand how trapped you are. It's driving me crazy, okay? And then I'm going to pile a bunch of books on you that I need you to read, all of them, and turn your stupid television off, okay?
Okay.
One of them is on career, From Paycheck to Purpose. I'm going to give you two of them, from Ken Coleman. And I want you to go to Ken. He's our career expert because you don't make nothing. And I want you to go get a job making twice what you're making now. You're worth a whole lot more than you're getting paid. Okay.
Well, I tried to tell my boss that.
Well, he ain't listening. You've been there a long time, and so it's time to start looking, and it's time to retool, reset your mind, comb your hair out, and get ready to go on an interview, girl. Here we go. All right?
Okay.
Because you need to go make some more money. You've been starving a long time. And so I'm going to send you a bunch of career books, and Ken Coleman is our career guy. I'm going to send you one on Proximity Principle, one's from Paycheck to Purpose. Read them both, okay? We're going to put you into Financial Peace University, which is our 9-week class, and take your 15-year-old with you. It's 9 lessons. You can either do it online or you can do it at local church, either one. We're going to pay for all this. It doesn't cost you a dime. I just want you to go do it all because my heart's hurting for you, okay?
Okay.
I get where you are. I know exactly where you are and how tired you are. And you got a new friend that's going to help you, and Rachel and me, okay? And
thank you.
We're probably going to sell your car because you can't afford this car. This car payment is what's drowning you. You got a great mortgage. Your mortgage is awesome. Your car payment's horrible. It's probably killing you. And then you ain't doing any more stupid stuff like cruises. And you're not eating out. You're not going to reward you. You're going to clean up this dadgum mess, and you're going to work your butt off like never before. And it's going to be for a short period of time. And this time we're actually going to get some traction and move the needle instead of spinning our wheels all the time, because you've been spinning your wheels for a decade. So
got this, Charlotte.
You hang on. We're going to get you with a coach. We're going to get you the books. We're going to get you into FPU. And you're going to call us back if you need some help. Hang on. Well, you've all played the telephone game. The first person whispers a message to the second person, who whispers it to the third, and so on around the table until the original message has completely changed. Multiply that confusion by 100 if you run a business with different software systems that don't talk to each other. That's why there's NetSuite by Oracle. In the early days of Ramsey, we were using different systems for all of our business units. We needed one single source for accurate data. NetSuite was the software we used to optimize and take us to the next level. NetSuite gave us the visibility into all of our numbers so that we could communicate across departments and plan ahead better. And as we grew, it scaled with us. NetSuite worked for Ramsey, and it will make a difference for your business too. Join the more than 34,000 customers who trust NetSuite to help make them smarter and make better decisions and level up their operations. To learn more, get a free product tour at netsuite.com/Ramsey. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. The Ramsey Show question of the day is brought to you by Neighborly, your hub for home services for over 40 years. Neighborly has an exclusive network of trained local service providers backed by the Neighborly Done Right promise. So, if it's not done right, Neighborly will make it right. It's a great company. Visit neighborly.com today to learn more.
All right, today's question comes from Jeremy in Colorado. I'm a big fan of your show and love the videos. I'm married and we have a 1-year-old daughter. I've been renting, but I'm contemplating purchasing a house. My gross base salary is $243,000. Take-home pay after 401k and insurance is $11,000 a month. We are paying $2,200 in rent. So my question is, how do we know when we're ready to buy a house, and how much money do I need to buy? I'm trying to think through the down payment and the mortgage payments, but I know there are other expenses during the buying process and monthly that I'm not thinking through, and I want to be prepared. Great question, Jeremy. So when it comes to owning a home and buying a home, we always tell people to be completely debt-free and to have 3 to 6 months of expenses saved in the bank. And then you're going to move on to what's called baby step 3B. So what you're going to do, Jeremy, is figure out, okay, we're going to try to get at least a 5% down payment, ideally more than that. 20% would be incredible because you could avoid PMI and other types of insurance and these fees that you were asking about later. but we would recommend at least 5-10% down, and your monthly mortgage payment being no more than 25% of your take-home pay. So it'll be kind of around what you're paying for your rent right now, honestly, is what it'll end up being.
Well, no, because it says take-home pay is $11,000 after 401k and insurance. 25% of your take-home pay, not counting 401k and insurance. It's just after tax take-home pay.
Oh, after tax, that's true. Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
and you're
yes.
making $243,000. That's $20,000 a month. So your take-home pay is not $11,000. Your take-home pay, you're counting 401k and insurance out of that. After taxes, it's nowhere near $11,000. It's probably more like $15,000. And so a fourth of your take-home pay, not counting insurance and taxes, with a properly withheld tax amount. All we want to take out is taxes, okay? And then 25% of that number. So you make a lot of money. You're going to be fine. You need to decide if you want to stop your 401k temporarily to be able to save even more and build that down payment up. But that's baby step 3B. It's okay to stop that for a little bit.
But that 25% take-home pay formula, though, does include like HOA fees, insurance, all of that.
Yeah, it's your
within that.
Principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and HOA. Okay, and because that's the cost of owning the house. Not your electric bill, not your water bill, that kind of stuff. And so, but it's just, what we're trying to do is not have you be house poor, where your house payment is a huge percentage of your take-home pay. But in your case, you probably can go to a $3,000 to a $4,000 house payment without any trouble. You're going to be right in. You're still going to be right in there, and probably $4,000, maybe between $3,500 and $4,000, but somewhere right in there. And that's on a 15-year fixed rate, with as big a down payment as you can scrape up before you make the purchase. Now, we've got a great blog on real estate. How much money do I need to buy a house? And it's in great detail, some of the stuff we just covered at RamseySolutions.com. We will put the link in the show notes for those of you on podcast, and in the description for those of you on YouTube. And so you'll be able to pull that link up and reiterate, am I ready to buy a house? Because everyone's running around right now like a chicken with their head cut off. If you don't know what that is, you'll learn it from your country grandmother. But if everybody's running around like crazy right now thinking, I got to buy a house, 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 got to buy a house. If I don't buy a house, oh God. It's always been that way. I've been doing this show for 30 years, and there's always been people with house fever. And they lose their minds, and they go with a big old debt. They got big old car payment. They got student loans coming out their ears, and then they go buy a house, and they're broke. And they can't figure out why the purchase of a home was not a blessing. It's because you bought a house when you're broke. That's why. You shouldn't do that. So we are, Ramsey, you're just too conservative. No, we just are using some freaking common sense. A little bit of restraint in a culture where no one ever tells anyone no for anything. No, you shouldn't buy a house. You're broke. Get yourself where you ain't broke. And then you buy a house, and then it won't be harmful to you. It'll be a blessing. It doesn't affect me. I don't care if you do it or not. But if you're asking me how I can be a blessing to you, how I can make your life better, we're here to tell you that. And that's what we've done. How much money do I need to buy a house? It's a great blog at RamseySolutions.com in the show notes or in the description on YouTube. Don't miss that. And Jeremy, you ought to go read that too. That'll get him there.
Amen.
Tyler's in Eugene, Oregon. Hey, Tyler, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I have an electrical contractor, and my truck just busted on a job, and the truck's been giving me problems for a very long time. It seems like every 2 years I'm dumping $5,000 into it to do head gaskets or trannies or whatever, and it just did it again. And I'm just wondering if I should just fix it or bite the bullet and go get a new truck.
Depends on what kind of bullet you're biting. Have you got any money?
Yeah, I got enough to pay for, but it tightens it up.
Pay for how expensive a truck are you going to buy?
I'm looking at $70,000.
Okay. Because you just spent $5,000?
Well, no, this truck keeps giving me problems.
I know.
And then I have no other means for.
I understand.
That's my only work truck.
I understand. But I'm just suggesting, sir, that you're overreacting. Maybe you need a new truck, but I don't think you need a $70,000 new truck.
How much do you make, Tyler, a year?
After taxes, about it varies, but last year was like 110.
Yeah. What do you wire? Houses or commercial buildings? What?
Everything, but in this area, it's just mostly houses.
Yeah. So not a single person's ever hired you to wire a house based on the truck you drove?
No,
No.
yeah.
All they cared was you showed up and plugged stuff in where it worked. Now, the showing up part, I'm with you on, brother. Okay? I think your truck's laid down. I think it's time to get rid of it. But you don't need a $70,000 truck. That's construction site bullcrap. Let me tell you who the broke people are on the construction site, the people with new trucks. You want to know who the rich people are on the construction site? The people with old trucks.
So it's still worth it to get a used truck, just drive it till it starts falling apart and get rid of it and get another used truck?
Exactly. Because you know what that $70,000 truck's going to be? Backed into with the guy's skid steer the first week you own it.
Yeah.
You've seen it happen. I have too. I grew up in construction, man. I didn't make this stuff up. I've been there. I've been standing on the site when this happened. So no, get you the truck you got's probably worth $5,000. It's probably a piece of crap, right?
I could sell it for 20 still.
Really?
Decent truck. Yeah, it's like a collector's type truck. It wasn't supposed to be a work truck, but it turned into.
Oh, okay. But a $20,000 work truck is an excellent truck compared to what you have right now as far as reliability. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yeah, it's just used cars scare me since this has been.
Honey, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it's used.
Yeah.
When you've been driving your new truck for a year, it's called used.
Okay.
And so you maybe 20. Not let's go a little
30.
higher. I'm good with 30.
Yeah.
Pay cash. You're going to pay cash and buy a $30,000 truck and sell your truck for 20. Dadgum, man, your life's awesome. All we're out's a net 10.
Would you think I should sell my truck or just keep it as a backup? So
no, sell it. It's a piece of crap.
Used car dies. Okay.
You told me how
it's
bad
not special.
it is.
Well, you said it's like a collector. It's not like a family heirloom
what
or
is
something.
It? What is it?
Oh, it's a Harley Davidson F350.
Okay. No, sell it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just worried of another car becoming a hassle down the road and nothing.
No, go get a good Ford, Toyota.
100% of cars are a hassle. Okay. All of them break. It's just a matter, can we get something...
But this idea that a used car 100% of the time is going to be awful, it's not. There's great, reliable used cars.
Yeah.
Trucks, too.
Yeah. Don't buy a worn-out used work truck. Buy a good one for $30,000 that's been gently used and a little old lady drove it to church on Sunday. I mean, come on. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Rachel Cruz, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. David is in Washington, D.C. Hi, David. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello there. Appreciate you taking my call. I'm a first-time listener and caller, so appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
So I am going through, it looks like a divorce. We're separated at the moment.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. So it's kind of tumbled up a bit, but the major thing is the house. You know, she kind of left me for someone, so she's living over there. But and she said at first that I didn't want the house, but now she wants the equity of the house. So with the way things are in the state of Maryland, because I tell her to DC there, but if they are, she can take the half in the divorce, and they do not allow you to just take the name off the house or anything like that. So what I have to do is I have to do two options, and I have a third, but I know you might say, I know just from the way I've been listening to you for the last 2 hours here that I feel like you'll say the third, but hear me out first. The first option is to go ahead and let her take money out of my 401k and for the difference that she would get in the house. And then what would have to happen is she could take her name off the deed, but not off the loan. And she'd have to give me like a certain amount of time, say 5 to 7 years, to refinance that loan. And the reason I say that is because what's left is it would jump my 3% loan up to about 8%, and it would jump me from like a $2,000 payment to like closer to $4,200 or something like this.
Yeah.
And which I didn't want to jump to that. So then the second option is that she waits and is willing to wait to an agreement of 5 or 7 years, and then she gets whatever equity I put into the house, any improvements, and she would then get half at that time. If she rejects that, in the third and final
I
one,
rejected
again,
that. That's a dumb idea.
Okay. In the third and final one, which I don't want you to jump to this one, is to sell the house.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen.
David was like, no, Dave, I told you not to jump to the conclusion.
Hey, David, do you have children? Do you have children?
That's right.
Do you have children?
We have 2 children at 27 and 25. One's just graduating law school.
Okay, so they don't have anything to do with this house. Okay. Why are you jonesing to keep the house?
Well, I've used it for ministries. Like allowing missions to come, and I host several groupings in the house, and that's one of the things my wife never liked. So one of the things she left for. But the big thing is that the kids grew up in it, and I looked in the local area, and for the same price I'm paying for this house, I would basically be getting a 2-bedroom apartment, kind of where I started at 20. And though I would be out of debt, I'm told that everything would be paid off, obviously, any credit cards or anything would be gone with that. It doesn't sit well with me on that. And I don't know if that's a pride issue or if it's just
what you're describing is not logical, okay? If you got half the equity of the house and you kept your, and I would say half the 401k is hers anyway, isn't it?
Well, this is after she takes her half. You're correct. I mean, right now we have about 438,000.
Okay, so she's going to. You're basically going to split all the assets down the middle, is what it amounts to. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, though she had a long-term affair, yes, but Maryland doesn't always.
I understand your heart's broken, and she's wrong. I'm not arguing that. I'm just talking. The problem with a divorce is it turns a marriage into a business transaction.
Right.
And in the business transaction, the law and the judge doesn't care about your feelings. I hear them, and I'm with you on your feelings. I got no issue with that. It's not right. It feels like she should get nothing to me, but I didn't write these laws, and I don't get to do them. So my guess is she's going to. Does she have a 401k?
Yeah, our assets are around $2.2 million. Yeah.
Total.
Yes.
All of you.
I put the bulk of it.
Yeah. And then is there debt on the house?
Yeah, there's some debt left. About 250. House is worth about $650.
Yeah. Okay. So you're exaggerating when you say you end up in a 2-bedroom condo. You're going to walk out of this with over $1 million.
But that's retirement.
I know. And you make what a year?
$200,000.
Yeah. You make plenty of money. You're not in a 2-bedroom condo, David. Okay.
Well,
listen, that's just your anger and your hurt talking.
Well, it's my budget, but yeah.
No, it's not your budget. I'm doing your budget right now in my head, and I'm better at it than you are, apparently.
Well, in Washington, D.C.
No, in Washington, D.C. I mean, he's talking about Maryland's what he's talking about. But so it's Baltimore, almost. And so it's still not that. I mean, you're selling one house. You're getting half the equity out of that. You make $200,000 a year. Whatever the other assets are going to be split. And you're going to have some money to buy something else. So you're, what, 52 years old, 53 years old?
57.
57, yeah. Okay. And this is it's a 30-year marriage.
Yes. We've been together for 36 years.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, David.
So this is what, dude, you've just got so much grief going on that it's really hard to process this. I think you're going to be glad that the break is clean if you don't have any interface with her except weddings and funerals in the future. In other words, if this house means you have to keep working with her, I don't think that's going to be good for you spiritually and emotionally. You need a clean break and be going away. And I wouldn't keep the house. I really wouldn't. You can keep it if you want to, and you can do option number 1 is what you laid out. But you're trying to be, I'm just listening to your story, and it feels like you're grasping at straws, trying to hold on to the past. Your kids didn't leave anything in that house. They have a future life. They've got degrees. Their mom and dad got divorced.
It kind of feels like almost the last page, David, of that time of life. And you were forced to turn the page because of your wife's decisions. And so it is that last bit of this was my old life. I would think that's how I would probably process it. Like,
it's just grieving.
It is. And so there's all of that. And with this type of divorce, I mean, grief is the word. I mean, it's a death of what was, that relationship that was. So there's a lot there, David. But yeah, from just the financial aspect, which is what we do best on the show, is
it's emotional and spiritual.
But just for the facts is A, B, and C, option 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
The third is going to be best for you, David.
You and I are close to the same age, and I've had lots of friends go through this similar stuff. And the ones that have constant ties back to a spouse, that every time they have to deal with them, it picks the wound open again. Mm-hmm. And if you can just leave them alone and let them go over there and do their thing, the wound can heal. But when you have to go back and you have to negotiate, and then she goes and gets married and gets mad and decides she's going to sue, bring you back into court and try to force your refinance. Or you're right up to the line on the refinance and you're 30 days over, so she wants to drag you into court. There's always this crap going on ad infinitum. It just goes on forever. And there's just a financial and a relational and an emotional, mental health benefit to a clean break. And you don't get one in this deal without selling the house. So you can do option 1 if you want. Option 2 sucks. Don't do that for sure. But you can do option 1 if you want. But if I woke up in your shoes, sir, I'd get rid of the house. It's just a freaking house. There's a house on every corner in D.C. I've been there. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Colossians 3:12. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Rick Warren said, humility isn't denying your strengths. It's being honest about your weaknesses. Susie's with us in Minneapolis. Hi, Susie. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
Okay, this is, without going too much in my past, I married when I was 30 years old and didn't really know that finances were such a huge deal. I was always brought up while watching my dad and my brothers and everybody provide very beautifully. And I married a man that I should have looked into his past, but found out, like 5 years into our marriage, he had a gambling problem. And I went through 15 years of trying to fix all the stuff he was doing deceitful under my back. And in the meantime, lost the house and bankruptcy and foreclosure and everything stripped from underneath me.
Painful.
And so I've been divorced 10 years, and I, in the meantime, I was a stay-home mom, and when I found all this stuff out, I started a cleaning business, and I got myself out of this whole mess, and I bought a townhouse, and I sold that recently. It was pretty much paid for, and put it into a house and remodeled that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
good
paid
for you.
My car is paid for. I have zero debt. I'm 55 now. In 10 years, I haven't really dated. Never found a real godly man or somebody I'm interested in. Here I find a man, but I don't want to get my heart involved. But it kind of is. I've went on about 7 dates with him, but in the meantime, I'm kind of hearing some things that I'm not loving with finances. Like he has a car payment, he's living in a little townhouse, and so I had to be honest and say, tell my past and say, I'm at an age that retirement's going to be coming soon, and I just can't get myself into a situation like I had been in again.
Mm-hmm.
So is he smart? I mean, he's 55 too. He just bought a townhouse worth $250. He's got a 30-year mortgage on it, which would mean he's not. I
don't think any of that matters.
It doesn't?
No, you already know that you don't agree with what he's doing. You don't know, the details don't matter. What he's doing is scaring you.
Yeah.
That's what I think I heard. Did I hear that?
Oh, it's like...
Yeah.
Totally.
We don't think he's got a gambling problem, but we think he's just kind of normal. Right?
Have you mentioned it to him, Susie? Like that? You're like,
yeah, totally. And the thing is I don't want to look like I'm some money-hungry woman. I just want a stable situation to be in.
If you say that out loud, then that explains it.
What?
I don't want to look like some money-hungry woman, but I went through all this hell for a decade and a half before. And so I've kind of wounded, and in that wound, it makes me a little bit scared when I look over and see any kind of debt. Makes me scared, and it's okay to say that. That doesn't mean you're weird. It actually just means you know who you are.
Okay, good.
And if you're not attractive to him based on you having an authentic, open conversation about what has happened to you in your past and the views and the values that has given you to go forward, then you didn't find your guy.
Right.
Am I wrong?
He's been very open. He's been very open.
I didn't say he was a liar.
And also, Susie, though, and tell me this, I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud. We have a small portion of the U.S. population that follows the Ramsey plan, right? So majority of people out there don't. So I would be curious.
Oh, it's huge, Rachel.
If you would say to him, like, hey, this is the plan that I do. I don't believe in debt. Like, here are the things that I've done to not just protect myself, but a way to live with money. And you may find, Susie, possibly that he's like, oh, I've never thought. I thought you always had to have a car payment. And not that you're going in to rescue him, but he may have never even thought of a different way of living, because nothing that you're saying is outrageous. A lot of people do 30-year mortgages. A lot of people have car loans. And again, it's not...
you might be his wake-up call. I don't want you to be his savior, but you might be his wake-up call.
I don't want you to go in and I don't want that mentality at all for you, Susie. But just through conversation, if he's a man of character and a man that's like, okay, I understand common sense. I totally get, Susie, why you're coming at it like this. That makes complete sense. And I've never thought about never having a car payment. Well, sure, if I got $240,000 that you said he put down on a townhome, he's probably got money in the bank. He could write off the car, pay off the car today. It's like he may just not even think through. Does that make sense? Like he may not even think about this way.
I think you misunderstood me. The house he bought was $200,000. The townhouse he bought was $250,000, and he's got a 30-year mortgage on that.
I'm sorry.
But you don't. But we don't know how much money he has in the bank.
No, I don't. But I don't think a lot.
I don't either. But you and I are both. You and I are both guessing.
Save Susie's relationship because I'm excited that you went on 7 dates with him.
Yeah.
I want it to work for you, Susie.
Yeah.
I'm
not trying to run him off. I'm just saying. I think. Me too. I think you don't know enough because you've been afraid of how you're going to be perceived when you be you. I want you to be real comfortable with being you, because I've talked to you for just a few minutes, and I really like you.
Oh, thank you. And I have talked to him about the last talk we had. I told him the whole. I go, I think you need to hear my whole story, and this is why I have to ask you.
I went through bankruptcy when I was 28. Rachel was a baby. I didn't know if I was going to be able to feed her. It scarred me for life. I don't borrow money. And if you don't like that about me, I'm okay with that. I'm still going to be me.
But you think, like, I just don't want to be. I mean, you think I was.
You're not.
It's been 7 dates, Susie. If it was your first date and you're asking for his tax returns and 401k status, like, that's
would be weird.
That's weird. You're 7 dates in, and you guys are adults. Right. This is what you talk. I mean,
you're not 18.
And he was good with it. He was fine telling me all of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, nothing that he's doing is completely absurd. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he's living a quote unquote very normal way of living, but that may not be up to your standards, Susie. If he doesn't want to change, then that could be an issue.
You know, at 18 conversations from now, not the next one, if he's saying, I'm going to stay in debt and I think this is okay, I understand that you don't want to do that because of where you came from, then you got to decide. But today, you don't have to make that decision. You just started the conversation. You're okay. You're okay. You're not out of line. And by the way, Rachel's saying he's not either at this stage. But now, you do need to get lined up before you put a ring on it, right?
Well, yeah, I always just envisioned myself at this age to find somebody that was established. I'm like,
he is established. He's not doing drugs. He's not gambling. He doesn't beat his children. He is established.
Okay.
He's
it's
fine.
A low bar, Dave.
Well, I mean, seriously, his biggest sin is he's got a car payment. This guy's a winner. I mean, really, think about it.
Dave Ramsey just said that.
Well,
Susie.
I mean, you know, yeah, but that doesn't.
I know
we can
what you're
get
saying,
rid of the
I know what
car
you're saying.
payment. We can't get rid of a lack of character. Okay.
Yes, that's it. That's the line.
Well, I know. That's huge. He is a decent guy.
He's a good, godly man, you said earlier. I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm with Rachel. But I don't think this is going to be one conversation. I think it's a gradual thing. You just keep talking about, this is who I am, and you're not ready to throw down an ultimatum today. Get rid of the car payment or I'm gone. We're not doing that today. It's not. But at some point, you guys do need to get aligned before you start making it permanent. But it's okay. 7 more dates. Hello. You know, let's just keep the door open, keep talking, keep walking. And if at some point he bows up, then you'll have to decide at that point. Are you willing to engage? And you probably aren't, based on hearing you. But I don't think this guy's going to bow up. I don't hear it. I don't hear anything in here that is. So I may be wrong. I'd love to hear back how this love story ends.
I know, Susie. Update us.
Yeah.
Cheering you on.
We're not very good at matchmaking around here. So if we actually scored on one, it'd be nice to hear about. Yeah. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.